Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. And today is Monday Fun Day. There we go.
Hey, stop what you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image of me that you're used to. I look money, a king bee making honey, see? Deep state, I hope you're ready for me. Now gather round, I'm the new sheriff in town. All my people rise up and stand your ground. Now drink up all the Diet Coke you got on your shelf. So just let me introduce myself, my name is Trump D. I like my mashed potatoes lumpy. Fake news, oh how I like to punk thee. That little sniper on the slope tin, he took a shot but he missed me. I don't fall, y'all, I'm like the ever ready bunny. Still going strong and spunky. So put on your big boy pants. Come on, let's do the dance.
The Trumpy dance is your chance to do the Trump.
Come on, do the Trumpy Trump. Come on and do the Trumpy Trump. Check me out, y'all. We do the Trumpy Trump. Just watch me do the Trumpy Trump. Do you know what I'm doing? We do the Trumpy Trump. Come on, everybody do the Trumpy Trump. It's time to do the Trumpy Trump. Yeah, my favorite.
Yeah, that's right. My favorite dish is a double Big Mac. Anyway, folks, welcome back to The Rundown. We're having a good time here on Monday Fun Day. Fortunately, once again, Mike will not be with us today. He's out there earning those dollar bills, so I can't get mad at him. But you're here and I'm here, so that's what's important. So let's go ahead and get into the program today, and we'll start it the way we always do, and that is with a quick shout out to our sponsors. First and foremost, we have the folks over at Hitman Industries. Now, they make rifle and pistol caliber barrels available for you to purchase at any length. Ooh, that was easy for me to say. All you have to do is go to their website at hitmanindustries.net. Now, if you've purchased an AR in the last few years, there's a good chance you already have one of their barrels, so why not get another one? Whether you're looking to do a brand new build or, rebarrel an old rifle, start your experience, start your journey with Hitman Industries. And then we've got the California Republican Assembly working to help elect conservatives in the great state of California. I got to tell you, we're working really, really hard to try and get us a Republican governor here in California. And it's actually a possibility this time. You want to find out how? Visit their website at cragop.org. That's cragop.org. For those of you who do not know, CRA was once referred to by Ronald Reagan. That's right, the great former President Ronald Reagan, as the conscience of the Republican Party. Check them out and find out why. And then we've got the best in concealed carry tactical holsters available on the market at hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com. I know, spelled kind of funny because that's like they like helping Americans wear guns. They like it so much, they're going to give you a discount. All you have to do is use the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces, one word, just like it is right up there. And you are going to get your hog holster on discount today. And then finally, we have the place where you can find all things tactical except the gun. That would be at uscombatgear.com. Now, if you're looking to buy new gear, trust me, they have a huge selection. They have competitive pricing, and they specialize in group sales. So you need to get your group together, get your agency together, get your department together, get your friends together. Get on over to uscombatgear.com, the place where you can find all things tactical except the gun. Also want to remind you, if you're watching this program 3 p.m. in the 3 p.m. Pacific hour in the Pacific or in the 6 p.m. hour back east, you're watching us live, which means we're taking your comments, and we would love to hear what you have to say. Whether you agree with us or disagree with us, we enjoy the comments. In fact, we prefer for you to disagree with us because then that gives us the opportunity to mock you.
Oh wow, is that a mockingbird?
Man, is that a mockingbird? Is that a mockingbird?
Yep, that's right. We will mock you. Okay, speaking of mocking, this was one, and I know it's probably not the biggest story. It's probably not the fanciest story, but it's definitely, in my opinion, the most absurd story that I came across today. And this has to do with a group of Democrat lawmakers who decided to come out and in support of a bill idea that I think is just, what's the word I'm looking for? It is beyond asinine. I can't really think of a better way to put it. But let me go ahead and share this little video with you, and then I'll share the article with you on the other side. Where are we? That ain't it. Did I just cover up? Don't. That I have it on here right now. All right. All right. Hold on a second. This is going to take me a quick second. I'm going to duplicate that shot. It's going to take me a quick second. I thought I had uploaded the video. Evidently, I did not upload the video, or I uploaded it and I wound up covering it up with another video, replacing it with another video. But this is basically, as is noted here, these are Democrats who are comparing the lack of paid leave for women when they are menstruating. Yeah, they're comparing that to, or they're calling it workplace violence or economic violence.
Forcing a worker to choose between paying her rent or losing a day pay to recover from a grueling gynecological procedure is not a choice. It's an economic violence.
That's right. They consider it to be an economic violence. This is once again a group of Democratic lawmakers, and this is I wish I could even explain why and how this I can't even figure out in my own mind what is it about this that makes them think that this makes sense. But this is a story that's over at Fox News. Here we go. Let me pull this together here. I know I am like totally not like on it today. Please forgive me. Anyway, here we go. Okay, so it says here, Dem lawmakers gripe about economic violence if not being paid to stay at home from work when menstruating. Okay, now what exactly does that mean? And don't ask me why we went to that ad, but let's go down here. Okay, it says here, Democratic lawmakers complain in late May about employers not providing paid leave for painful menstruation cycles, calling it economic violence. Quote, forcing a worker to choose between paying her rent or losing a day's pay to recover from a grueling gynecological procedure is not a choice. It's economic violence. Representative Aldeta, I'm not even going to try and pronounce her last name, Democrat from Arizona, said during a press conference on May 21st. She was joined by representatives, another representative from Arizona, Rashida Tlaib from Michigan, who were backing Ansari's Reproductive Health Care Leave Act, which is part of quote HER or they call it Health Equity Rights Agenda. The Reproductive Health Care Leave Act, the flagship bill, would provide up to 12 days of paid leave per year for reproductive health needs, including severe menstrual pain, abortions, menopause symptoms, miscarriages, biopsies, vasectomies, and more. The HER agenda also includes studies regarding gynecological pain management and premenstrual dysphoric disorder awareness. Quote, no one should have to choose between their paycheck and their health to be able to manage that kind of incredible pain, Tlaib said during the press conference. Now, the thing that's interesting to me about this is that, well, first of all, most jobs have this thing called sick leave, right? So if something is going wrong and you're dealing with a physical issue, guess what you do? You take a sick day. If it's so bad, if your physical issue is so bad that you cannot, go to work, that's what you use a sick day for. If you go get a vasectomy and you need to take the day off, well, first of all, anyone who's ever gotten a vasectomy knows the first thing they're going to tell you is go get your vasectomy on a Friday, right? Get it scheduled on a Friday so that Saturday, so you're basically off your feet. You're doing nothing at home on, Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday. And generally you're up and about and you're ready to go back to work on Monday. Why would you need to get a day off? Or why would you need to get days off? Why would you need an additional 12 days for stuff that, quite frankly, all should be covered under your sick leave? This is just, it's unfortunate because this is another example of things that Are they nice? Yes. Would it be great if an employer provided these things or this time? Yes. It would be great but more importantly, it would be great if the employer could afford to offer all of this. And in some cases, we're talking about doubling up because once again, time off for stuff like this is already offered and it's called sick leave. Is that right? I mean, is that something new? I mean, am I wrong, dude? Did sick leave all of a sudden did sick leave all of a sudden become a illegal now? We don't have that anymore in the United States. We don't have sick leave. I'm just and once again, I want to note to you, these are once again Democrats who want to take everything that they want and they want to call it a right. Not everything you want is a right. I'm not saying you're wrong for wanting it. I'm saying you're wrong I'm not even going to say you're wrong for expecting it. But demanding it, saying it ought to be a right, well, that is about as un-American as you could possibly get. It is about as anti-free market as you can possibly get. If there is a sure way to get people to decide that, yeah, I don't want to do business here. And once again, this is something that will never pass the United States House of Representatives. It'll never pass the Senate, in particular, never pass the Senate. But you can see people starting to institute this at the state level. I could see places like California passing something like this. I could easily see New York passing something like this, or Michigan, or Minnesota. And then they would wonder why employers are leaving. They would wonder why people are no longer investing money in their state, or the amount of money that's being invested is being reduced, why it's going down as it has been in places like California, in places like New York, and in places like Minnesota. They're going down because, once again, you are trying to demand and mandate things that just are not supposed to be, things that are not rights. You want to call them a right, but they're not rights. At a certain point, we have to be responsible for ourselves. Not at a certain point. First and foremost, we are responsible for ourselves. And if that's something that you want, then guess what you should do? You should go look for an employer, go look at an industry that provides those sorts of benefits. But, it's funny because it's just like people who believe, well, you know what? I grew up in New York City, or I grew up in Sacramento, or I grew up in LA or San Francisco, and I have a right to be able to afford to live where I grew up. No, you don't. I mean, studies have shown that right now, as we are right now, we are the least mobile, or at least we are the least mobile generation of any before us. Because usually what would happen is, from the beginning of this country until, well, now, what you did was you moved. If you couldn't reach your economic goals or your financial goals or your society, whatever you were looking for, where you were, you went to another place. There's a reason why people settled in the New World. There's a reason why people traveled west. There's a reason why people for decades were moving to the state of California. There's a reason why people moved to Nevada. They moved to these places because there were opportunities there that didn't exist in the place that they were from. They could experience more in the place that they were going to, instead of demanding that the place where they are from provide those opportunities. They had this realistic understanding that you couldn't mandate those things. In fact, the more you mandated them or tried to mandate them, the less available they actually were. Because all you do is you don't increase those benefits, which, well, not for everybody. For many people, they wind up losing their jobs as those companies shut down and move their business someplace else. And the ones that remain that can afford to give those additional benefits, they find a way to pay for it. In part, they do so by raising the cost of their products, goods, or service. In part, they do so by cutting the hours of workers, in some cases, such that they no longer qualify for those benefits, meaning they don't get the benefits anyway. Or in some cases, basically just firing some people and have other people who are going to actually get the benefits pick up the slack. That's how it works, folks. Cost of business is passed on to the consumer. It means less profits, right? It means they get less money. And when I say less profits, by the way, I'm not just talking about the owners. I'm also talking about the investors, which in many cases, if you have a 401k or if you have a pension, it's likely invested in one of these businesses that is going to pay for this additional cost. It means less profits. It means less money in your 401k. It means you also pay for it. Not just through higher prices, but also by lower return on your investment. And the workers pay for it through lost wages, lost hours, in some cases, lost benefits. Anyway, it works my nerves. It just works my nerves how people just don't understand the very basics of economics. I will say this again, and I know that I've recommended this before. If you ever get a chance, for those of you who are listening and stuff like this, I'm just going to say this. A much better use of your time than listening to me, get into audiobooks and start with, if you don't have time, this is only if you don't have time. If you have time to read this book. But if you don't, get into audiobooks. Listen to and make one of your first buys, Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell. And so much of this stuff will be explained to you, will make sense in a way in which you will not have to be an econ major in order to understand. In fact, I would recommend you get it for every Democrat you know. Just recommend it to them. Get them to read it. Get them to listen to it. Get them to understand how flawed the policies of the people they're voting for actually are. Because if we can get people to understand that there are a lot of reasonable Democrats out there. The problem is many of them are only listening to the left. They're only listening to the grievance community. They're only listening to those who want to take from those who've earned to give to those who haven't. And they don't understand. They don't even understand, though, that's what they're doing. Because, well, they're not being educated. They're being indoctrinated. So let's help them out a bit, shall we? All right. I know this is a big shock. Election interference scandal uncovered in the state of California. Say it ain't so. Say it don't happen here in California. Yeah, I wish I could say that. I wish I could say that I knew that to be the truth. But to be honest, yeah. At least the California Post